Hello, namaste to whoever is watching this. I just felt a random desire recently that now that I'm back on social media, let's make some videos, I guess. And I already have a YouTube channel where I used to make some things like 1 year ago. So I thought let's start making some content, but this time let us keep it spiritual, right? Or something more humane and inorganic, especially in a world where nowadays everyone only cares about their materialism and their narcissism and their Instagram and their egos, right? So, the topic that I want to cover in today's video is where does meaning and purpose originate from? This is a very interesting debated topic. Especially if you go on social media, you'll have tons of people who will tell you, life is all about hustling. You have to work 9 to 5, then hit the gym, get a six pack, um, consume 120-gram proteins every day, uh, out compete everyone. But I want to ask anyone who's listening to this that is that genuinely what you consider as meaningful to your life? Because we all as human beings are creative beings. We cannot be boxed into any particular category, right? That for you, you have like you cannot be like all of you have to live your life like this. Wake up, eat this, go to gym. Even when you go to gym, do this workout only strength train. You don't have a regimented way of life, right? We are human beings. We need to be free flowing. I feel that you can't have meaning in life or you can't feel a natural affinity towards anything you consider as your purpose in life unless you don't feel a state of free flow towards it, right? We live in a world where people try to derive their sense of meaning from everything on the outside, even though everything on the outside is a product of everything that is on the inside, right? Everything that you see, from the biggest buildings that is built to bridges, trains, cars, technology, everything was an imagination of something that was on the inside in the mind. And the human mind is a manifestation of human consciousness, and human consciousness is a manifestation of human soul. So everything in this world is an extension of your soul. So unless you have not known your own soul, you can't find meaning in life. Like you might pursue things in life that you might be like, okay, this is meaningful to me, and you pursue it. After you have done it for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you feel burnt out. You're like, am I? You feel after, let us say that you had a certain goal that you wanted to get a six pack, right? So you go to the gym, you work, especially because nowadays on social media you have every other guy uh, putting out reels of him working out. So every other male who comes onto social media, especially Instagram, has this one thing that just because those guys are doing it, even I should have a six pack. That is an influence that is coming from outside. That is not a natural purpose. Natural purpose comes from within. Something that is meaningful to you naturally comes from within. So let us say that you use a lot of social media, you see a bunch of guys getting six packs, and you're like, even I want it. And then you go to the gym, you strength train, you do all the necessary things for 1 6 8 months, you got a six pack, and you still might feel empty, right? Like, is this genuinely what I want? This is something that happens to a lot of people, even with me, because I've done a lot of things in my own life where I have taken influence from, where I was influenced by a lot of things on the outside. I've been a rapper. I have trained rigorously in the gym. I've done a lot of things. Uh, I've I because for me my mind is always like I want to explore myself, right? Because I believe in growth and human potential and all of that shit. So I've done a lot of these type of things, and after I've done a lot of these things, there was always a sense of emptiness that after I achieved certain results, like uh, there was always emptiness. Like, why is this hollowness? And After I started going inside, and one of the many ways through which I went inside was through spirituality. I'll come to how I use spirituality to acquire wisdom from the inside. So when I went on the inside to understand the true nature of my soul, I realized that most of the things that I thought will help me grow, the trigger for it came from the outside, because I saw some guy who was having a six pack, so I need to have a six pack so that I will find meaning in life. I want to make music, make rap music, because I've seen some guys rap, so I want to do it, right? So for me, at a certain point in my life, I used to have that mindset that, that a lot of the things that I was doing, the influence was coming from outside. And then I used to have a lot of periods of burnouts, and I couldn't understand why I used to feel so much empty, right? So I started immersing myself into spirituality, right? I think this was maybe 2 years ago, and I started reading a lot of spiritual books, Vedic books. I read the Bible, the Quran, a lot of the things to understand why I never felt satisfied in life. I read the Bhagavad Gita and tons of books. So then I realized that after reading a lot of our Vedic books, all of our Sanatan Dharma books, I learnt the actual true nature of reality, that we are all souls. And for me, I was not listening to my soul, what my soul was telling me to do. What my soul was telling me to do was uh, share value with people, try to make life better for people by trying to just make good quality content like this video on YouTube. Or even there was a certain time in my life where I used to rap and make music, so use music to make good quality music with empowering messages for people, so that for me, my soul finds meaning in life by helping other people out. That's what I find meaningful in life, right? So if you want to find genuine meaning in life and purpose, I feel like it comes from your soul, because we all are souls and we are extension of a creator, right? Maybe I'll cover that spiritual topic some other day. So how do you find meaning and purpose in life that is natural to you and not influenced by the things from the outside world? I would say first, isolate yourself. Step one, isolate yourself, because there is always a lot of um, stimuli we are getting from the external world, especially in today's world where we have so much access to internet. So we are always um, having that thing, oh, he's doing with his life, he's doing that thing with his life, he's partying, he's cool guy, so I also need to party to find meaning in my life, or I need to have that much followers on my Instagram to have meaning in my life, blah blah blah, right? So the first thing is, you want to cut out any influence that does not come from within. You want only that calling to come from your soul. You don't want anything from the outside to influence you. So first thing, isolate yourself. Spend a bit of time with yourself in your room, or go out into nature somewhere where nobody can find you, and spend some time with yourself, and keep shaving, and in your mind, in your subconscious mind, shave off all the unnecessary aspects of your personality that has been influenced by things on the outside. Anything that you felt like adds meaning to your life, but that uh, thinking came from outside, someone else triggered you to have that thinking, right? That maybe, if I become successful, I'm gonna find meaning, but that that thought came from something else on the outside. the, like maybe your parents taught you that, or some shit like that, right? So you want to shave off all the unnecessary aspects. So first, isolate yourself. After isolating yourself, uh, after some time, it takes time, but after some time you will find your meaning, because you will be clearly able to hear your soul. I think that just closing your eyes and laying back on your bed, or just practicing some amount of meditation helps. Because then you can tap into the stillness within. We as human beings, we have a certain stillness within ourselves. When you're able to tap into that stillness, you can gain access to your soul. So tap into that stillness and you'll find the voice of your soul. Use that voice to find real guidance that is pure and true to you. And from there, I think it becomes easier, right? So because now you know what your soul is telling you. But the thing is, even when you actually start hearing that voice, since that voice of your soul is new, at certain parts you start doubting yourself, right? So if you want to constantly keep uh, if you constantly want to keep a strong connection to your soul, because the first time you gain access to the voice of your soul, it is uh, the connection is not strong because it's the first time you've connected to your soul. Because most of us as human beings live our life through our ego. So the first time you access your own soul, the soul is beyond the ego. So once you have dissolved your ego by shaving off all the unnecessary aspects of your personality influenced by external stuff, and you come from a very pure place from your soul, so that time when you access your soul for the first time, the connection is weak, right? So you need to engage in something that is spiritual in nature or connects you to a higher power like a god or something, so that when you can connect yourself to a higher creator, it keeps you in connection to your soul. Because we all, our souls, our soul uh, takes birth on this planet in this time space dimensionality, and the souls that come into this time space dimensionality is an extension of a higher power, right? Like there is a super soul, let us say there's outside of this time space dimensionality that we live in, there is a super soul, and from that super soul, our soul is a tiny fragment. So you need to engage in spiritual practices that can connect you to that super soul, so that as long as you're connected to the super soul, you're connected to your own soul. So something that I do that helps me is read the Bhagavad Gita, or uh, manage do any or read books of Swami Vivekananda, or listen to spiritual God songs. Right, these are things that I normally do, and that's what keeps me uh, in connection to my soul. That connection that you generate with your soul once you have dissolved your own ego, it is known as bhakti, right? Bhakti as in endless love and devotion to God. It can be Krishna or Jesus or Buddha or whatever God, right? So once you can dissolve your own ego and you can tap into the state of bhakti, that is pure blissful love towards a higher power, you understand your own soul. From there, once you've understood your own soul, it becomes easy to understand who you are truly at your core. That I am not my ego. My ego is influenced by everything on the outside. I don't want my ego. When I went to Instagram, my ego thought that if I get six pack and I get validation from the external world, I'm going to find meaning in life. But no, that was a very superficial influence coming from the external world. That's not my real self. My real self is beyond my ego. So I have to first dissolve my ego. So to dissolve my ego, first I need to cut off the external influence. So let me practice staying in solitude for a bit of time, away from people, so that I don't have any influence on the external world. Let me cut off internet access. Let me not come on the internet a lot so that I can find my pure purpose. Let me meditate in my mind to find my real purpose. The human mind is generated from the human consciousness, and the human consciousness is generated from the soul. So you reverse engineer that, right? First, you go into solitude, cut off connection, then meditate in your own mind. You don't need to sit in any meditating position. You can just lay in your bed and close your eyes, or you can sit in your normal meditating position, and from there reverse engineer it. Go into your mind and try to gain access to that stillness within your mind. That stillness within your mind is your consciousness. From your consciousness, reverse engineer the connection, right? And from the human consciousness, try to develop a connection known as bhakti, right? So, how you can find meaning in life? I'll sum it up. First, you want to cut off connection from everything. Isolation, solitude. First step. Second step, meditate in your mind. Third step, once you start meditating, go into your mind and try to find the stillness within. The stillness within in your mind is your human consciousness. Once you have gained access to the human consciousness, from that human consciousness try to generate a feeling of bhakti or devotion or pure love towards a higher being, that higher being, that super soul from where your soul fragmented off and came into this time space dimensionality. So you can use many ways to do it. You can read spiritual books, you can listen to God songs, devotional songs, so that from your human consciousness you can reverse engineer and uh, tap into the feeling of bhakti. From bhakti you tap into your own soul, and from tapping into your own soul you find that God is also real, right? So once you have done all of this and you have tapped into your own soul, you'll find that voice from within telling that this is what I want to do, right? Even for me, I was um, right now I'm 24. When I was around younger, during my toddler years or during my teenage years, I was a very brutally ambitious guy, right? I thought that if I have a lot of things on the outside like fame, money, uh, shit like that, I'm going to find meaning. So I was always brutally ambitious. I studied a lot, I got a lot of marks, and I played a lot of sports ruthlessly. And I used to be a rapper, I used to train like a mad dog in the gym. I used to do all of it, but I still used to wonder why I feel so much empty on the inside. Then that is what led me to spirituality, and then I realized that I was operating from a level of my ego. It was not coming from a pure place. But now I don't do a lot of those unnecessary things from that has been influenced by the external world. I do very minimal. My lifestyle has become very minimal. But even with a very minimalistic lifestyle, I'm happy because I'm living true to my soul, right? So to understand your own soul, you have to isolate yourself from the world, then meditate in your mind. From there, tap into your human consciousness by going into the stillness within your mind. Once you have gone into the stillness within your mind, uh, and you gain access to your human consciousness, from there, try to generate a feeling of bhakti or love towards a higher being, be it Lord Krishna or Jesus Christ, whoever, by using uh, spiritual books or songs, whatever. From there, you gain access to your soul. Once you have heard the voice of your soul itself will tell you what you need to do to find meaning in life. Once you have done all this, you will find your genuine meaning and purpose in life, because in the world we live in, there's a lot of external influences that will tell you need to be making 1 crore per year or you're not successful. Your life has no meaning. And all of this bombarding comes from that external world. Uh, so I would tell, don't engage in that, and don't try to find meaning from all the things from outside, be it uh, some random guy on LinkedIn telling if you make 1 crore per year you're successful, or some guy on Instagram telling if you get six pack you qualified as a man, or any of that shit, right? Go into your soul, gain access to it, and you'll find your real, true, genuine meaning and purpose in life. Thank you.